Nature never breaks her laws. A beautiful body perishes, but a work of art dies not. Water is the driving force of all nature. Men of lofty genius, when they are doing the least work, are most active. Why does the eye see a thing more clearly in dreams than the imagination when awake? All knowledge which ends in words will die as quickly as it came to life, except for the written word, which is its mechanical part. He who loves practice without theory is like the sailor who boards ship without a rudder and compass and never knows where he may cast. Human subtlety will never devise an invention more beautiful, more simple, or more direct than does nature, because in her inventions nothing is lacking, and nothing is superfluous. Experience never errs. It is only your judgments that err by promising themselves effects such as are not caused by your experiments. All our knowledge has its origins in our perceptions. Learning never exhausts the mind. Anyone who conducts an argument by appealing to authority is not using his intelligence, he is just using his memory. The senses are of the earth, the reason stands apart from them in contemplation. While I thought that I was learning how to live, I have been learning how to die. Time abides long enough for those who make use of it. The natural desire of good men is knowledge. Blinding ignorance does mislead us. Oh, wretched mortals, open your eyes. Marriage is like putting your hand into a bag of snakes in the hope of pulling out an eel. The beginnings and ends of shadow lie between the light and darkness and may be infinitely diminished and infinitely increased. Shadow is how bodies display their form. The forms of bodies could not be understood in detail but for shadow. The mind of the painter must resemble a mirror, which always takes the color of the object it reflects and is completely occupied by the images of as many objects as are in front of it. Where the spirit does not work with the hand, there is no art. As every divided kingdom falls, so every mind divided between many studies confounds and saps itself. Just as courage imperils life, fear protects it. The smallest feline is a masterpiece. I love those who can smile in trouble, who can gather strength from distress, and grow brave by reflection. 'Tis the business of little minds to shrink, but they whose heart is firm, and whose conscience approves their conduct, will pursue their principles unto death. To such an extent does nature delight and abound in variety that among her trees there is not one plant to be found which is exactly like another, and not only among the plants but among the boughs, the leaves, and the fruits, you will not find one which is exactly similar to another. Men of lofty genius sometimes accomplish the most when they work least, for their minds are occupied with their ideas and the perfection of their conceptions, to which they afterward give form. Nature is the source of all true knowledge. She has her logic, her laws, she has no effect without cause nor invention without necessity. Time stays long enough for anyone who will use it. As a well-spent day brings happy sleep, so a life well spent brings happy death. Where there is shouting, there is no true knowledge. I have offended God and mankind because my work didn't reach the quality it should have. The human foot is a masterpiece of engineering and a work of art. Medicine is the restoration of discordant elements. Sickness is the discord of the elements infused into the living body. Our life is made by the death of others. Science is the captain, and practice the soldiers. You can have no dominion greater or less than that over yourself. He who is fixed to a star does not change his mind. Knowledge of the past and the places of the earth is the ornament and food of the mind of man. I have been impressed with the urgency of doing. Knowing is not enough, we must apply. Being willing is not enough, we must do. It's easier to resist at the beginning than at the end. Iron rusts from disuse, water loses its purity from stagnation, even so does inaction sap the vigor of the mind. The function of muscle is to pull and not to push, except in the case of the genitals and the tongue. You do ill if you praise, but worse if you censure what you do not understand. Nothing strengthens authority so much as silence. Tears come from the heart and not from the brain. The greatest deception men suffer is from their own opinions. The noblest pleasure is the joy of understanding. Who sows virtue reaps honor. Art is never finished, only abandoned. There are 4 powers: memory and intellect, desire and covetousness. The 2 first are mental and the others sensual. The 3 senses, sight, hearing, and smell cannot well be prevented, touch and taste not at all. Every action needs to be prompted by a motive. In rivers, the water that you touch is the last of what has passed and the first of that which comes, so with present time. Beyond a doubt, truth bears the same relation to falsehood as light to the darkness. He who wishes to be rich in a day will be hanged in a year. Common sense is that which judges the things given to it by other senses. There are 3 classes of people: those who see when they are shown, those who do not see. Poor is the pupil who does not surpass his master. Intellectual passion drives out sensuality.